going to be going over how to clean and lubricate your M&P series pistol. It'll cover any of the M&Ps, so whether full size, pro, compact, VTAC, any of them, it's all going to apply the same to this gun in what we're doing here today. I know a lot of guys pick the M&P pistols up as their first gun, so they're new to gun ownership and have some questions on how to do it. We're going to go ahead and do it per Smith & Wesson specs today, which is actually how I do it anyway, and show you how it's done. Hopefully answer some of those questions that some of you might have out there. Before we get into the actual cleaning, we'll go over the things you're going to need, or at least what I use anyway. We have two different types of CLP. They're the same product, just in different dispensing methods. A toothbrush, a little rod of some sort, a little pick. This is a dental pick, a polymer dental pick. Of note, if you're going to use a metal dental pick, do not use one that is a hardened steel, like i.e. actual dental picks. Those are very, very hard and may scratch the surface of your gun. Your M&P, that melanite finish, is very durable, but why risk it? So if you're going to use a metal one, I do recommend using clay molding tools. Those ones are very soft type of steel, very durable, but yet not going to scratch up your gun. We also have a nylon brush. You really don't need this, but I'm going to use it because a lot of folks like to use it. But I'll get into that more when we get into it. And just some t-shirt, cut up pieces of t-shirt. If you want to use patches, that's fine too. Alright, getting into the cleaning, go ahead and drop the magazine. And you're going to go ahead and lock, slide back, inspect the chamber. You can see that it is clear. Go ahead and check it if you like. And next up, depending on how you do it, you can go ahead and pull the little sear disconnect down. A lot of folks like to do that instead of pulling the trigger. Rotate your lever down, release your slide, your slide will come right off. After that, you're going to take out your guide rod, take out your barrel, and that's your field strip pistol. That's all you're going to take it down to for this cleaning. Go ahead, the first thing I like to do is go ahead and put some CLP, or if you want to use solvent, that's fine too. Solvents work. I generally find though for these guns with that melanite finish, it's really just not necessary. Go ahead and put some on there, dampen it up, and then we're going to push it through the push through the barrel, and then I'm just going to let that sit. And the reason I let that sit while the rest of the cleaning is going on is that CLP or whatever, if you're using a solvent, is going to keep breaking that carbon down throughout the time we're cleaning the rest of the gun. Now what I'm going to do here is take my CLP bottle, go ahead and spray the slide. The thing you want to remember when you're doing the slide here is keep the muzzle pointed down, and the reason being you don't want to do it like this, because you see there where your striker is, you don't want to get a lot of lube in there, and if you clean it like this, it will eventually start going in there. So basically just take it, spray it. If you don't have a spray bottle, that's fine, just apply it in there because we're going to spread it around here in a second. I'm going to do the same to my frame. I spray just right in here, and then also back here. You don't want to have anything in your mag well, any lubricant I should say. You want to keep that dry. So spray there, leave it for now. And then I'm just going to put some in my hand here and put it on the outside of the barrel. And again, we're going to let that sit. Now I'm going to take my toothbrush and just work it around. Again, while you're working it around, you want the muzzle pointed down. And just work it around, let that CLP get all in that slide and do its job of cleaning up that carbon. When you're on the breech face here, you want to just, again, make sure you're not actually putting it in there, but scrub it around in there. Make sure you're getting into your extractor, which is that piece right there, guys. We'll get into that more here in a second, though. And you're going to do the same here on your frame. Make sure you get on those rails. Carbon likes to build up there. Rotate your lever. Get in there, because that's the position it's in when it's actually firing. And back here in your trigger assembly. And we're just going to let that sit. Now what I'm going to do is take a piece of the t-shirt, and we're just going to go ahead and wipe it up. Now all I'm going to do here, guys, make sure you pay attention here in the rails. You can see there, just from that one swipe, there is a good bit of carbon in there, and this gun doesn't have many rounds through it. It probably has about 50 rounds since the last cleaning. That's exactly what it has, or 49 rather. 3 magazines, that's what it has. So just go ahead and work the rails. And you're just going to work it around in your slide there until you get all that carbon up. If you need to go ahead and put more CLP on there and do it again, that's up to you. But personal decision, you just want to make sure you get it up. The nice thing about using CLP versus the solvent is even once you're done with this, there's still going to be a thin layer of lubricant and protectant on there, which is going to help, you know, just keep everything nice and rust resistant. Although, admittedly, these M&Ps are pretty damn rust resistant as it is. All right, So let's talk about the breech face here, right in here. What I like to do is just take my finger and wipe it off. You can see just how dirty that is. Generally it's going to be very, very dirty because that's obviously right where the bullet's coming out and where that carbon's going. So what I like to do here is, if you have an angled tool like this, take it in there, again with it pointed down, you're just going to work in that extractor right on the hook there where it hooks onto the rim of the case, because there is a good bit of carbon buildup there, as you'll see. And basically I'm just going to go ahead and do this a little bit more in detail, and I'll come back once it's all done. We got the slide all cleaned up here, and now we're going to work on the frame. Basically we're going to do the exact same process. Just going to take your piece of cloth, whatever you're using, and work it in there. Again, you're going to want to pay attention on those rails, so you can see it's starting to get dirty, picking up that carbon, because for some reason carbon likes to hang out on the rails. It's just the way it is. Work the top and the bottom. Work in all these little grooves, because that's where stuff likes to accumulate. So that's why these tools do help. You don't need them by any means. You could definitely use like a piece of, a lot of folks I know use cut pieces of like a wire hanger. Cut that off. If you do that though, I do recommend going ahead and make sure that edge is very dull. Make sure there's no sharp edges. Again, just to protect the finish here on your gun. Obviously these guns are tools and the finish is really only important aesthetically, but why wear your gun if you don't have to? It's kind of how I look at it. But just going to work in there. And one thing I recommend doing here is back here in the trigger assembly, just kind of work on that trigger and get all the different angles. You can see when the trigger's like that, all the way forward, you can't get in here, but if you pull it, you can get in that little groove right there. And you can just work down in there. So work both angles with it pulled and with it forward. So work all that. Make sure you get in there, get any sort of CLP that's in there or any lubricant that might have gone down in your mag well. You do not want any lubricant in there, like I mentioned earlier. And we're just going to keep doing that, guys, until it's clean and the piece of cloth comes out as clean as you like. Frame's all cleaned up. Now we're going to work over to the barrel. What I like to do is just get the outside first. Just wipe it all up. Pay attention here to the muzzle, guys. There's going to be some buildup there. It'll probably come off right now, and you can see, yep, see those little rings that come off. So you always got to make sure you get the crown of your barrel, and work down here on this little slot here in your barrel hood. That's another place carbon likes to build up. And just work on the outside. Here in your locking lugs right here, what I do is I just take the cloth and I pull it in, kind of pull it tight, and just pull it through. If you guys have pipe cleaners, that works in there well. It also works well if you have pipe cleaners on the extractor. I didn't bring them out because a lot of people don't have them, but typically that's actually how I do it. And just wipe the outside until we're clean. Another thing you want to do here is go ahead and take your stainless steel guide rod and just wipe it with a little bit of CLP, and that's it. That's clean. That's all you need to do right there. It doesn't actually require much cleaning. Now what we're going to do is go ahead, take on the patch. We're just going to keep passing it through the barrel. You're going to go from the chamber to the muzzle. Honestly, I do not know if that really makes a difference on a handgun, but it's a good habit to be in. On rifles, you definitely want to do that to protect the crown of your barrel, especially if you're using metal cleaning rods. But you can see there, it's coming off the carbon. And if you want to, go ahead and take a brush. This here's a nylon one. There's different ones. There's nylon, there's metal, there's all different kinds. Make sure you get one that's safe for your barrel. These melanated barrels are pretty damn tough, so you're probably not going to ruin them with any sort of brush out there. But I like to use nylon if I use anything at all, just to be on the safe side, because honestly you're not going to get a whole lot of buildup in your barrel here unless you're using lead bullets. And if you're doing that, well then the cleaning process would be a little bit different, because you want to make sure you definitely get all that out. But anyway, you're just going to keep passing this through until it comes out clean. And after I do that, we'll come back at the end. Well, we got all the crud out of the barrel, and now it's time for lubrication. Like I mentioned earlier, one good thing if you use the CLP is that generally there's a little bit of lube already on there, just a light layer, which is always good. But Smith & Wesson recommends 7 different lubrication points for this pistol. We're going to go ahead and lube it according to their specs. I'll go ahead right now and post a pic from the owner's manual about where they specifically mention to lubricate. I'm going to show you that next, but anyway, here's the pic. Now that you guys saw that, I'll show you what it looks like actually in person here on the gun. First spot you want to get here is on the rail. I recommend going a little bit on the other underside, right up here on the front, so it gets both the top and the bottom. Just one drop of lubricant there. You're gonna do the same on this side. You do not need to over lubricate these pistols, guys. They're not like AR-15s. They're designed to run with minimal lubrication. So you're gonna do the same thing on the back here on the rail. Put a drop of your CLP or lubricant, whatever you're using. Sorry about the bird in the background, guys. Can't do much about that. And then you're gonna put it right here on the trigger bar, because that's the part that interfaces with your safety here. You want that part to be lubricated. So that's 5 parts right there. The next 2 parts you want to lubricate are going to be your barrel, and you want to do it right here at the end. Most M&P barrels, at least the newer ones, I know some of the first ones it was a little bit harder to tell, but you can actually see, I'm not sure if it comes up on camera, but there's a little bit of a raised edge right there. And that's the part you want to lubricate right there. And you can see the wear marks on the barrel where it's indicating that. Just go ahead and put a drop on there. And what I personally do is I go ahead and rotate it around just to make sure it gets up on that barrel all the way, because that barrel is going in and out of the slide while it's firing, and that's the part you want to lubricate, obviously to prevent the wear. And the next part, the last part, part number 7, is going to be this, your barrel hood right there, because that's what interfaces right there on your slide. So now that you got your pistol lubricated, you're going to go ahead and put it back together. So go ahead and put your barrel in, put your guide rod in, go. You go ahead, line the rails back up, and you're going to lock that slide to the rear. Oops, there you go. Now you're going to rotate the lever down, release the slide. And what you want to do now, whenever I clean a pistol, I'm a big fan of function checks, so just go ahead and point in the safe direction, pull the trigger, release the trigger, make sure it resets. It does. And I'm just going to go ahead, wipe down the outside of the pistol so there's no excess lubrication on there. And that's it, guys. That's the cleaning and lubrication of your M&P pistol. As always, guys, if you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. You can ask those questions here in the comments. You can also ask the questions over at my Facebook page. But as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you learned something here, and I hope to see you in the next video.